Yeah.
Shitloads of it, and got shipped over to America, but America ain't got any gold anymore. They've used it as leverage, and literally
honestly, Kendall, I just thought that post fucking fascinating. Watching the guy breaking that fucking thing open, and it was like encased in plastic, and it two padlocks.
There are some videos that need to. If you put Dragon Family in the Dragon Family Gold somewhere in YouTube, I would imagine you'll find one or two videos that talks about it.
You, James, don't you dare.
Yeah?
Don't you go to YouTube and look for it.
No. No chance. Fuck's sake, man.
I'll tell you what I enjoyed about him going after that strongbox. I'll tell you what I enjoyed about him trying to open that strongbox, man, was there he was hacking away at the side of it and then chipping away at different layers of it. There's a fucking lock sitting there right on the side he could have just hacked off.
I thought on either side. There were one on either side.
He did the lock as well.
He hacks out the two of them off, and it still didn't
I didn't see the lock, man. Did he get through that?
No. I went through that. He hacksawed through the two locks, but it didn't do anything.
Okay.
The locks were there for no reason. The locks were there for no reason. He had to use a big fucking screwdriver to get round about it. The lock, I understand the locks were there for no reason. Didn't open them. It didn't open the box.
Shit.
Were these boxes being opened in his house then?
Yeah, I
oh, right.
I mean, we did. I'll be honest with you. If see if somebody come into my house with a half ounce of grass and haunt me, I'd have been dancing proper hood. But if somebody walked in with £1 million worth of gold, I would have been a wee bit happier.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'd opened that fucking box quicker than him.
He also mentioned some writs that were going out, and I didn't know whether I got the impression that he was. This is just from listening to it. I didn't know whether I got the impression that this is to pay for the writs to get them all going, and they're smuggling in to pay for the some kind of legal action that's
Don't know. Dean, I just found the video absolutely fucking fascinating and kind of a what the fuck kind of thing. When I seen it, first time I seen it.
I just kind of
it was
so long to get in.
If I remember rightly, I think they were like fucking packed in a beeswax or something in between the layers of gold. You know, for stop them.
Scroll up a bit more. Let's read a bit more. Scroll up.
That's what I'm reading. I wanna know where they're from and that. You know what I mean?
It was saying it's got so much stuff running about it because it was encased. But I've never known gold to do that, even under any earth they're in.
You don't usually need anything over gold. You could pack gold in mud, shite, whatever, and it'll be alright. Nothing will eat away at it.
I mean, you know, moving about in the packing cases.
Oh, true enough. I know what you mean, Luke. Just for mobility, just to get it to fuck.
Yeah. Because if you think about it...
they put stuff in it to stop it moving, maybe,
If it's loosely packed, the weight will be shifting, and if it's going on a fucking plane or a boat, it can counterbalance it.
What's the motives? What's the motives of the Dragon family in all of this?
Similarly,
do they want to challenge this present corporate cabal system?
Yeah, I suppose
and restore normality, and in the sense that people have got some kind of freedom away from it. That's what it looks like. On this video, that's what it looks like.
But whether that's fucking, I don't know.
Because at the same time, there's this banking whistleblower, I forget her name, Ruth, could be Ruth somebody or other, who said that all the bills in the world can be paid because the gold's sitting there waiting to pay those bills, but the banks won't play ball with the deal or something like that. You'd have to go back and look at her.
Catherine Houdis or something, I think her name is.
That's it, yeah, Houdis, yeah. She's the one that's been saying all along that, like the American House of Representatives or the American government, from the banking side, from Wall Street side of the deal, they don't want nothing to do with the fucker. Plus, another thing is it's not connected to any form of Zionism. So if you look at most of the beastie governments, they're all I mean, I'm not getting on the J word. I'm just saying that the Zionist philosophy, in terms of the way countries are run and the fact that most governments are highly influenced by having a connection through this Friends of Israel, America, Britain, France. They've all got this Friends of Israel, so there's some Zionist agenda going on. You can only look at the logos on the last Olympics, and there's a statement that was made by Boris Johnson when he got accepted the chance to have the London Olympics. He said in his statement something, I can't remember the exact words, but he did say in his statement that we will follow the Zionist principles as the Chinese did in the last Olympics, right? So if you look at the logo and mess around with the words or swizzle the numbers around, it spells Zion. And that was one of the first things that the alternative media got on, that I think it was 2012 spelled Zion, and the way you could literally cut the numbers up and separate them and spin them round and get the word Zion. And Boris Johnson actually met. So it's in your face, but not in your face, if you mean. They're letting you know their intentions straight away. And if you look at the opening ceremony and the closing ceremony, it was all there. All the clues were there, all the fucking corporate shit, the way the NHS was going to be, and they're going to fill your heads full of fucking Mary Poppins if you're watching the telly, you know what I mean? All the symbolism, it was amazing. I mean, Cookie could explain that better than me and wrap some fucking esoteric knowledge behind it, but everything that they got, if you remember, the lights were in pyramids. So everything that was wrapped around the 2012 Olympics was what can you say, like a pilgrimage to fucking Zionism and its principles, not Judaism, not Jewishness or whatever that is, because I don't know, that's a religion, but Zionism is it's a political beast. It's a beast with that's not, and if you criticise it, then you're an anti-Semitist, and it needs separating from the Semitic side of it, because it's nothing to do with Jews. It's what this cabal.
Zionists have got this fucking Semitic bit of fucking DNA in their body. They're
it's like
fucking steps of Russia.
It's like a cancer. If you look how cancer starts, it starts with one little thing, and then a root grows out, and then that divides. Like the roots of a fucking onion or whatever. And then all of a sudden, well, not an onion, say a strawberry, man. Because a strawberry will put feelers out, and then it'll put roots in, and another strawberry plant will grow from that. And it's a similar thing to that, but in a cancerous, parasitic kind of way, because the Friends of Israel, wherever they are, in America, Britain, wherever, Holland, well, I don't care, wherever they are, they're all using some kind of influence.
They always destroy your host.
Another level that takes away control of the way countries are run and the whatever. It's another level that's taken away from the people who actually live in the country, and it's a form of influence that sways supposedly great people's minds. I mean, look at David Cameron. You know, my support for Israel is unshakable, and that's an actual quote of David Cameron's. What? Hang on a minute. You're supposedly the Prime Minister of Great Britain. Which camp have got, which foot is winning in which camp? You know, you can't be both. You're one or the other. You can't be both. Yeah. It's impossible.
See, they shouldn't even be they shouldn't even be in office if they've got anybody with a dual passport shouldn't be in office. They should be for this country or they should be for Israel. They can't be for both.
Yeah, they can't have an affiliation with somebody else.
The same with Barack Obama. He got the Nobel Peace Prize, and he became the chairman of NATO for a while. Am I right? And in the American Constitution, you can't be a president and chairman of NATO because one conflicts with the other, because you can't spend all your time being chairman of NATO because you should be president of America. So you can't have a foot in two camps. So the Constitution added that to it. So if you're going to be president, you're supposed to be president. But, you know, that's all I'm saying is there's an excuse. There's always an excuse that each one of these excuses have got some form of authority somewhere along the line that is never spoken about. You can't see it. It's not written. It's just, well, it's always been that way. Well, why?
But that's the whole point, Kendall. What authority?
Yeah, why? What authority? Where's it? Well,
whose authority? A wee guy who wrote fucking stuff down on a bit of paper.
Yeah, it's whether we accept that authority in our mind or allow ourselves to be de-authoritized by it.
That's the thing.
When we stand up to being de-authoritized by it, they deny that. They deny the existence of our right to deny it, you know? Yeah. Like the two guys who were stopped by the police. The police just did not want them to... They did not want him, or both those geezers in both those videos. They were just backing him into a corner all the time, and the only defence he had was the fact that you're working for a corporate entity, why should I take any notice of you? And that's my right. But you can't explain that to them because they deny you that right. You know, and in an effort to express yourself, some people express themselves by speaking louder or trying to emphasise the point, which the police at that moment collude together to sort of make it, well, why are you being aggressive? You know, all we want is your name.
And that's what gives them that's what gives them the thing, or you're, what is it, they can arrest you under being fucking annoying or being fucking...
Well, they're going to put you under duress because you won't own up to being the corporate entity, the legal entity that they want you to own up to being. Right. Because there's nothing that represents them that actually means anything in terms of flesh and blood, because it takes people to create these things, but what gives this non-entity that can't breathe for itself the authority to impose itself and take away and procure under duress, you know, to just remove it, just because the law is the law, because the law says it's the law. Well, hang on a minute. Where does it say it's the law? Are we not allowed to question it? And if we do question it, you know, why do we have to?
That's a Tony Mean saying. You know what I mean?
You know, why do we have to question it?
Because the law applies, the law applies.
Yeah, shouldn't it be justifying itself to us instead of the other way round?
Right.
Because in actual fact, it doesn't. It's not anything that's taken. It's not anything that's breathing, beating. It's nothing. No. So my argument is, if I don't know, if you want to represent people, but not a corporate represent a real entity, which is a human being, rather than a corporate entity, which is what is it? I don't know what it is.
But
it's just
this is why Parliament exists. They sit in there, and their only fucking being there is to make up laws. That's all they do. They sit in there and they make up laws. Aye, nay, all that shit. Who writes these fucking laws?
I watched it the other day. They were just all laughing and jeering and cheering.
Yeah.
And it was like fucking waves in a playground. It was fucking disgraceful.
It's an absolute fucking. It's a pantomime. It's a pantomime.
Every time they put a bill to Parliament, it's what it says it is. It's a bill. It's an idea that they can push through Parliament and push into actual legislation that will raise some money in the form of a
revenue.
That the bankers. So it's wide open to corruption, like, you know, parking fines, fucking speeding tickets. It's absolutely wide open to corruption if you want to be corruptible or too corrupt.
It's not even that, Kendall. It's not even that. They're there just to make up laws. They're there. They sit in Parliament. We'll say, oh, we'll make up this law. We'll make up that law. Then we'll have a vote on it. And you're like, who fucking writes these laws to fucking make up these things? It's no Parliament. It's somebody outside Parliament that puts it into Parliament.
There's another side to it. Parliament in every level, it's not listening to the voice of the people, the voice of the constituents, which is supposedly the MP's connection to his job, right? Every move, like the interference from Friends of Israel, or it might be this lobby for that lobby, this think tank for that think tank, they're all trying to influence politics away from people in the name of the people. Well, can't the people, if those that were in power were actually people instead of MPs, and I'm not saying they should be chosen for, I'm just saying if you're going to be an MP and represent the people, then the people are made of flesh and blood. They actually breathe, they fucking squeak if you pinch them in the arse, they do all sorts of things. But if you're going to represent them, you've actually got to be one of those yourself and not hide behind anything, because that's what the country's all about, not feathering, or it's not about draining the resources of the country. It's not about feathering your own nest. It's all about people who are responsible for, like, providing electricity, gas and water. They shouldn't be doing it for a fucking profit. They should be doing it for the people, because all those resources that they're using don't just belong to them. They belong to everybody. And I suppose in a way, I'm a leveller. If you look at the old English Civil War group that grew out of it, the levellers, they just thought that, I mean, I might be wrong, but I got the impression that no one owns, you know, there might be Lord so-and-so living on his estate, but he don't really own the land, although he claims it. It was there a long time before his family. You know what I mean? It took millions of years for it to become that piece of land. And where was you when that was fucking happening? You weren't even...
Exactly.
You know, you weren't even a fish or an amphibian, so...
And we made this country... we made the country the way it is, right? We built up the rail system, we built up industry, we built up fucking telecommunications, everything, water,
water pipes.
And these bastards just sell it all off to private companies. And they're not even, they're not allowed to sell it to British companies. They sell it abroad. So all the energy companies they're all foreign. All the,
but they're all making profit out of it.
Everything they're privatised. They're all abroad.
Yeah, but the thing is, if I make a bike or a table or a chair or a television, I want to make a profit because it's got to be worth me spending all that effort and time designing it, making it, creating it, manufacturing it, bloody shit. But if I'm selling a commodity which is a natural resource, which is in the best interest of everyone in this country to have a fair amount of, and that is light and heat and something to cook on, right?
Yeah.
There shouldn't be companies all around the country, sort of different companies here, they're making huge profits out of that. They shouldn't be making bugger all out of it. It should be enough to keep those people employed in a decent job, doing decent work for a reason, so that we can all have a fucking light on, we can all cook our dinner and be warm in winter. That's what it's about. But no.
But that's what happened with Maggie Thatcher. And that's what happened with Maggie Thatcher. She
still want to postman, and all these things that maintain a certain kind of, because some of us don't want to live in the country, some of us are quite happy just, and if Sainsbury's want to work and, sell decent fucking produce, stop interfering with it. I don't know. I'm ranting again. But
I know.
Not at all, not at all.
But it's all globalisation. It's globalisation. It's right out of the whole fucking world.
Yeah. Why should local councils be allowed to call themselves corporations when they're providing a service to the people that live within their boundary, if you want to say they've got a fucking boundary?
Just lets you know that they're there just to make the money off the people. They're not there to work for the people, they're there to make an earner off the people. Or off the people, I should say. It's
a friend of mine needed the council to do some work, right? They needed, and all it meant that this work entailed was tiling a wall. I think it was about 4.5 square metres. And he says, I couldn't believe the fucking rigmarole. He says, you get one van pull up, this guy just comes, measures it, writes it down in his book, and then disappears. He says, then another guy comes in a van and actually prepares the wall for the tiler. He fucks off. And then another van appears with the boxes of tiles and the grout and fucks off. Yeah. They're all council vans. He says, and then fuck me, another van appeared with a tiler and a bag of tools. And he tiled it. He tiled it and fucked off in his van. He says, in the old days, if I'd wanted a fucking somebody to come and tile my wall, he says, a guy had pulled up with a few boxes of tiles and all his fucking tools. He'd have measured it, gone fetch the tiles, come here and fucking, he says, 4 vans, 4 men for one fucking wall, 4.5 square metre of tiling.
Because it's all subcontracted out.
It's 4 different bills, because that's 4 different jobs it's went out, so you can get Muggins taxpayers to pay for it. It's all these they don't work for the council now, they're like independents.
That's right, yeah.
Like
it's all subcontracted out.
Contractors.
Yeah.
I mean,
but as you say, Kendall, whereas one man would have done the job, now it's 7.
Yeah, precisely. But I mean, each level, they've got to make a profit out of it somewhere. Somebody's got to make a profit out of something that really, you provide. It's a council house, for fuck's sake. the guy and the woman that's living in their house have like been renting it for donkey's years, and they paid for it already. Because there was a book that was dropped out in the 30s when these houses were built. They cost 500 quid a shot. How many fucking times has he paid?
My granny stayed in her council house for 50 years, over 50 years, paid her rent religiously, never in arrears or nothing. You know what I mean? And I think the houses, as you say, they cost about £400 to build. You know what I mean?
How many times has my mum bought that? How much fucking profit have you made out of those bricks and that mortar that you know?
Bastards,
and like, and if you, I just don't know. I don't know. The world's fucked up.
How can they sit in comfort and wealth when there's pensioners and there's single parents and there's families? It's in houses, it's got no heating, or they're deciding whether does their kids get Christmas this year, or do they get fed, or do they get warmth, or they've got to decide on one of them. They can't have a lot of them. You know what I mean? That's what's fucking heartbreaking. And when you read like the politicians are getting themselves an 11% rise or whatever it is, or one of them gave one of their cronies so much percentage of a rise. You want to throttle these fuckers, to be quite honest with you.
There was a kid on the radio this morning, and I didn't quite tune into the bit why they were on the radio, but his dad was on the radio for some reason anyway, and his dad had got full custody of the kid, and they hadn't got a lot of money. And he said to the kid, right, what was on your Santa's list? And he goes, right, Xbox One with so-and-so game, a Forest third away kit, which is a blue one, and a Forest goalkeeper's kit, and a pair of and this list, I'm thinking, fuck me, you need about a fucking grand or more for that shit, because an away kit, complete away kit for a kid now, you're looking hundreds of pounds, man. And he wants two. I mean, the fucking shirts are like nearly 40 quid a shot. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the Xbox, 400 quid. And then a game, 50 quid.
£80. I paid £80 for my son for a game. £85.
Okay, well. And these kids are thinking, and some Lego, like, what? Yeah, I bet. You know, no good buying him one of them little 2 quid boxes and he'll make it in 5 minutes and then...
No, the Lego games, the Lego thing, they were about fucking £25. £25 a shot. It's all Batman and fucking superheroes
all it is
£25 a go.
That's your hard-earned cash going in.
I've got a 3-year-old grandson. And in Aldi, I've spotted a pack of cars. There's half a dozen little cars in there, Hot Wheels cars. And he's the only one getting a present this year, because like my grandson's birthday was just before Christmas, and I gave him a book. Feed 'em right when they're young, man. I gave him this book, cost 25 quid. And it explains about all the bills that have influenced British history and how people have got the vote and all these fucking conventions, Treaty of Vienna and all this, that and the other. And I've started educating him about the other side of history where they've twisted it and used commerce and various other things against us to do certain things. And I've talked to him about the birth certificate and now there's Sam, the bit he can pinch that goes out, and Sam, the bit that the official people write when they write to you, that's a different Sam, you know, and you've got to learn to know what the difference is and how to understand that they're trying to communicate with you as you grow up, because if you don't, they want to stitch you up when you become a man, you know, and your dad's not that, he knows how to steer his way through, and so do I, and you need to know because it's going to be more important to you in your generation. And he's getting on it. So I've fed him all the King Arthur stuff. He's like, no one can take the piss out on him on history at school because he's you know,
I wish I could do that in my grandmind. I honestly wish I could do that, but my boys know that. And
the major thing I did at his school, James, I says, you know, when they start talking to you about religion, I said, if God exists, proof is all around. And I said, I'm not talking about the God that talks to you in the Bible. I said, the God who creates, because he doesn't need to speak. He leaves his evidence everywhere. I said, so when they start talking to you about religion, ask them which God they're talking about, because the only one you know that has got real proof. And I said, and I'm going to show you the proof now. And I showed him the Fibonacci sequence, right?
Yeah.
And I taught him that, and he got it, man, right? And I said, everything on this planet is connected to the Fibonacci sequence. I said, a snail shell, the way it's formed, every piece of life, every flower, the eye of a bee, which is all hexagons. I said, it's all down to the Fibonacci sequence. Yeah. And I said, that is a language of mathematics. And I said, that is the language of the Creator God. And I said, and when people want to ask you whether or not you believe in God, you say, yes, I believe in God, because his evidence is everywhere in the Fibonacci sequence. And somebody must have asked him, because all of a sudden, that school, and since he mentioned it, in the last year of juniors, that school has started teaching kids the Fibonacci sequence and connecting it to evidence.
Just jump in here, and I've got to say it's Fibonacci. There's no R in it.
Well, whatever. Yeah.
Sorry, it's driving me mad. Sitting here hearing you keep saying it's driving me mad, man. Yeah. I just had to add that.
Oh, Huxley, you've been pedantic.
I'm glad you did it.
You've been pedantic.
Fibonacci. You know, when we refer to the Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah, there we go. You got it now, man. You got it.
Yeah. Or is it Fibonacci?
Yeah, man, it's how it go.
With the beautiful lady.
No, Huxley's just been pedantic.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what it's like, man, if you hear someone saying something wrong and it's like, okay, well, alright, okay, oh, no, okay, right, it gets to the point where I just can't keep hearing it said wrong.
Let it go first once or twice.
What is it?
It's just
so what is it?
Fibonacci.
Fibonacci.
As in Liberace.
It's the whole multiplying thing, isn't it? So like 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, everything doubles. That's right, isn't it?
1 plus 2 is 3.
Equals
2
3.
plus 3 is 5. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. If 2 corresponding numbers add up to the next number, and the golden ratio is at 1.3682.
And almost everything biological that clicks on the planet relies upon it somewhere to derive its fractals of that sequence. It's fucking amazing, man.
I love watching them programs about all that when they start talking about how structures are made. No, especially human body, each chromosome gives out a chemical. It lets the cells join up, and they know where to join and what they're going to be. That's fucking incredible. And they say that, I don't know, I don't believe in evolution, to be quite honest with you, because I don't believe it came out with a bunch of glue and through all that shit. I don't believe all that crap, to be honest with you.
There's no missing link. Let's put it like that. There is literally no missing link, because Neanderthals wandered the planet at the same time as the Homo sapien, or the upright one, whether it was Nephilim or whatever it was. So there's no missing link. I think that, the nearest thing that got to a missing link is a fucking prehistoric fish.
I don't know. That's another one of my fucking weird ones. How the fuck you went from Neanderthal to fucking who we are now.
That's a. We were dumb in 100,000 years ago. Ping, we became self-aware, and so what happened 100,000 years ago to make us go for dragging just your typical caveman, dragging his bird along by hair and clubbing him to death?
I think it's the conflict, isn't it? It's the Trinity. It's the me, myself, and I. Because there's me, the physical me, and then there's the esoterical me, the godly bit, and then there's something else. There's the other me that lurks inside of me that goes, no, have another split. Fuck it, have a fag. Yeah, go on, have a cup of tea.
If I do.
You know, yeah, this is. And then but in some people, that other me gets carried away with itself and says, go on, nick that woman's purse, man. Well, you can run quick enough to not catch her. Take the risk. Go on, it's 60-40. No, it's 75-25. Nick it.
What do you think it was that sparked 100,000 years ago? Was it like when man became self-aware and realised about God, or I don't know.
I don't know, Tony. I think as soon as he realised he could pick something up and whack somebody around here or with it. You know, when he got hungry or whatever.
It's meant to be when that's what made Neanderthal or a brain get larger. I don't know if it was Neanderthal or not, but when they changed their diet for vegetable and then started including meat, that's when the brain started getting bigger, and different aspects of the brain started to get lit.
No, that's why that's what I don't understand about vegetarians. It's like, why are we fucking incisors?
If we're meant to be,
if we were meant to be fucking vegetarians, we wouldn't have incisors.
Well, that's what it says in the Bible. In the Bible, or in there's a book.
I'm being thick here. What are fucking incisors? Are they the biting ones or the chewing ones?
The pointy ones.
Pointy ones at the side of you.
The ones that bite.
I've not
got many left. There's hardly fuck all left to bite.
I know, I've only got two.
See them two there.
They two are false.
Yeah, I can't bite them.
Why the fuck would you have incisors if you're meant to be a vegetarian? I don't get that.
If I was to bite
if it was evolution, we'd all have ones that munch. What do you call the things? The ones that just munch stuff.
Oh, they?
You've got canine, you've got incisors.
Are they the molars? Yeah.
Yeah.
Canine incisors.
I've got one case.
We would all be cows. That's what it was. We would all be cows.
I would prefer to have been a squirrel, because I like nuts.
I was reading a book that it was
it's an impossible argument, right? People say, we need to be vegetarians. I'm like, so why have we got these fucking pointy teeth to chew stuff and bite stuff?
I think there's enough
evidence, does it?
I think there's enough evidence to say that at some point or other in man's history, whether that history has been lost, whether it's been washed away partly, or whether there's enough evidence to say that at a certain time in history, this planet was influenced by a different kind of intelligence which used and abused that, which it proliferated like mankind. But the only problem was there's a little bit of us, I think there's a little bit of us inside us, not, whether we get in touch with it is down to ourselves, but I think there's a little bit of inside us that they couldn't control when it sparked into the actual birth thing. I think there's a bit in there that they've missed, they've got no control over. And if you listen to that Illuminati guy, he reckons that the other aliens, whatever dimension they're in, they've got a machine that can take your soul out and put it into something else and then put it back again. Well, that's a bit.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen that film with Jake Gyllenhaal or something like that. It's what it's about. He's a soldier and he gets killed in action. It's a sort of the same as that Tom Cruise one, but what it does is they send him back to find a bomb on a train, and the train blows up and they capture his soul and put it back into a body and send him back again, and they keep doing that to the stop, and that's what it's meant. I see this, you hear people talking about Saturn and cult of Saturn. Well, Saturn was meant to be a machine that was harvesting the souls and capturing the... When people die and they say go to light or go to dark, wherever that you go to, one of them's meant to be Saturn and you get put back here. You know, like if you believe in fucking certain things, you get put back here, and if you're elevated enough, you move on to the next stage, sort of shite. They usually just the usual bullshit, no? That's not that Saturn. That's not all that Saturn crap is, no? Fucking hell.
As long as it's got the fucking Rolling Stones, Pink Floyd, and I can have a split, I'll be alright.
It's just fucking... I went in to hang out the night there, and Tony Meehan came in and the first thing he says was, right, nae Saturn talk, then yes, I talk shit, he says, I can't take it.
That's crazy.
See, Mark Phoenix, that guy Phoenix, Mark, he's a lovely guy, you know what I mean, but you're sitting talking away about something and he goes, aye, like, that's like Saturn and that, and he starts bringing it into conversation and it just does that, whoop, right over my, it's over everybody's head. But he was like, no, I'm a Satanist and that, and blah, 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 and I'm like, good for you. Yourself, son.
I'm still convinced, because from what I've read in my research, it's the first thing that forms in a woman's womb at 49 days, which is 7 sevens are 49, and the seventh Sabbath is mentioned in the Bible. So there's shitloads of clues that's been left, wrapped up in allegory, for them, in the sense that there's several meanings. You can take it literally, or you can look at several things, depending on how you want to uncode it in your mind. You can look for several routes, but the real one's there somewhere. And the seventh Sabbath's mentioned, and the first thing to form in the woman's womb is the pineal gland, and that's formed enough at 49 days to send out a signal saying I need to receive more information, which it picks up from the morphic field in the form of positive electrons. And it interacts with positive electrons, because positive electrons can pass on information to each other and learn and grow from it. So the pineal gland does that. And every 49 days, since the day you were born, since the day your pineal gland put out the first message, every 49 days, if you think internally enough, you can connect with the pineal to send out that message to receive more information. And I think that's when you have like synchronicities and certain things like suddenly dawn on you that are dead simple. You're like, fucking hell, why didn't I think of that before? You know, like I've mentioned that one before on cookies or Dean's Hangout, the 456. You know, you've got 4 chambers in your heart pumping around, and that's more connected to the 5 senses, because that's the real you. And the 6 is the temporal bit, where you've got to, well, I don't know, you've got to learn to let your feelings tell you the truth, because whatever your heart's telling you is not a lie, because it's connected to the 5 senses. So, you know, if somebody says something in a hangout and all of a sudden you feeling something inside, like I did